Come spend the week with me as a stay-at-home mom to a 1 and 2-year-old. Today is Tuesday, January 7th. I just got both boys put down for their nap. We're kind of going a little stir crazy over here because we've had a snow day the last couple of days and we still are currently snowed in. I mean, we could get out if we wanted to, but I don't want to leave the house with the boys. So I thought I would make some little fun activity for them to do when they wake up. So for this activity, I used a cardboard box and cut this piece out to fit our IKEA sensory bin here. And then I'm just going to draw some type of design on it. I think I'm gonna make it Valentine's Day themed. So I have markers and crayons, and I think I'm gonna do a little color matching with Q-tips. So here is how the activity turned out. So it's a color matching heart activity and it's like a little pegboard. So I made all the little pieces out of Q-tips. I just colored the tips of them and then he'll just stick them in this little cardboard piece, but I really think he's going to enjoy this. So I have it all set up here for whenever he wakes up. He's going to be so excited about this. So while I'm waiting for them to wake up, I think I'm gonna make myself some lunch. I just realized that it's 1 o'clock and I haven't even eaten yet. So we're gonna make some healthier buffalo chicken dip. So first things first, I'm just using a can of chicken and I'm just using a fork to kind of mash that up and make it into smaller pieces. Next up, I'm going to add a couple spoonfuls of cottage cheese. Some buffalo sauce. And some shredded cheese. So now I'm just going to mix it all up. So here is what it's looking like. It literally took just a couple minutes to mix up. And now I'm going to take a little bit of this, put it into a bowl and just pop it into the microwave. So one thing I need to find is a healthier chip option so I can eat that with this. So if you have any recommendations, let me know down below. So it's hot and ready to eat, so let's give it a try. So good, so quick. I'm all finished with the buffalo chicken dip, so now I'm going to make some snacks for the boys to eat on this week. So first things first, I'm going to make pancakes, but I'm going to use a muffin pan. And then I'm also going to make some little balls using oats as well as peanut butter. And the last little snack I'm going to make is using bananas and freezing them with some peanut butter. So let's get into it. So here's how the snacks ended up turning out. The boys already got into the muffins and they're loving them so far. So I'm getting ready to leave to go to Aldi to do a little evening grocery shopping, so I'll bring you along with me. Aldi. It was so weird going in the evening and without both of the boys. Usually we go shopping sometime during the day and both of them are always with me. So it was definitely a different experience, but let's do a little haul. First up, I picked up some chocolate milk, blueberries and raspberries, potatoes, a bunch of cheese, center cut bacon, corn, these chocolate peanut butter bananas. I tried these last week and I'm obsessed. Pretzels, chicken fries, these little oranges, the boys love these, moo tubes, sirloin tip, these fruit strips, and of course our number one essential, applesauce. So that brings the total to $91.20. Let me know down below if you shop at Aldi and what are some of your favorite Aldi finds. Good morning. As I'm getting ready today, I figured I would tell you some stuff about myself so you could get to know me a little bit better. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. So first things first, my name is Dustee and I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have a 1 and 2-year-old. Both of them are boys. So I live in Southern Illinois and I've lived here my whole entire life. I met my husband right when I was about to graduate high school, so we've been together for 10 years now, which is absolutely insane. I've been on social media since around 2019. I originally started on Instagram and then I created my own website to kind of share blog posts because that was big at the time. And then when TikTok became super popular in 2020, I hopped on the bandwagon of that as well. And I actually grew a decent amount of followers until my account got banned. And at that point, I was pregnant with my first son, so I ended up taking a bunch of time off to try to focus on pregnancy and becoming a mom and figuring out all of that stuff. I ended up starting another TikTok account, but I didn't really take it seriously because I was just more so focused on being a mom. But now that I've been a mom for a while and I've kind of got the groove down, I started a TikTok account back in July and I've been focusing on it, trying to post every single day. And then I recently also started YouTube. Of course, my content looks a lot different than it used to as well. I used to share makeup products and makeup reviews. I also used to do try-on hauls and I even did some hauls from DHgate. But now my content is a little bit more focused on motherhood and just lifestyle, which I've been really enjoying. One of my highlights for my social media career per se was whenever I got to work with David's Bridal when I was getting married back in 2021. So now that you're up to speed on my social media journey, we can get more into some of the personal things. So I'm just gonna rattle off a bunch of random facts. I have a dog named Oakley. He's a Maltipoo and we've had him for 7 years and he's my first little baby. I feel like I'm a crafty person. I've always enjoyed doing like crafty and artistic things and I even have a few Etsy stores. Another thing I really enjoy is video games. My husband and I like to play together. We usually play Fortnite or Call of Duty, but we like other games as well. I really enjoy doing my makeup. It's something that I've loved for years at this point, and usually no matter what the day looks like, I try to put on at least a little bit just because it makes me feel so much better and more productive. I've always really liked fashion as well, but since becoming a mom, I kind of don't really know what my style is or what I like anymore, so I'm trying to rediscover that. I also like to cook. I like to find something that I like at a restaurant and then try to recreate it at home to make it even better. So for instance, one thing I like to order when I go out to a restaurant is boneless wings, so I started making them at home and they are literally chef's kiss. I am so obsessed with Chick-fil-A, particularly their breakfast. It's my favorite and I crave it all the time. Believe it or not, I actually grew up riding motorcycles. I started racing them when I was 6 years old, and then when I was 7 years old, my dad passed away from a motorcycle accident, so I've had to deal with grief pretty much my whole entire life. So obviously I don't want to end this little get ready with me section on a negative note. I usually try to keep it pretty positive around here, but I also want to keep it realistic and talk about things that aren't often talked about, and I feel like grief is one of those things. So if you're in the thick of it or you're going through it, my DMs and messages are always open, so you could always reach out and hit me up. So it's the afternoon now, both boys are currently napping, so it's time to work on our toddler activity journal. This week in our A to Z series, we are on to the letter L. So I'm all finished with the activity journal. I'm gonna go through the pages quickly so you can see what I created. So first things first, I always start by drawing the letter of the week onto the page, so that's what I did. And then I cut some leaves out of construction paper, so my toddler will glue the leaves onto the letter L. Next up is L is for lion. And for this one, my toddler will use these dotting markers to dot the mane on the lion. Next up is L is for lemons. I made lemons out of construction paper, and then I wrote a capital letter L on some of them and a lowercase letter L on the others. So for this one, he'll sort the lemons and put them into the correct bowl. Next up is L is for ladybug. And I thought it would be fun to make this one into some sort of little game. So I'm going to hold up one of these little cards, and then using the spots that I made out of construction paper, he will cover the correct letter L based off of which card I held up. And last up we have L is for lobster. First things first for this activity, I'm going to let him color the lobsters. And then once he's all finished, I made these little claws out of construction paper. And again, they have the capital letter L as well as the lowercase letter L, so he'll have to match up the claws. Is it called lobster claws? Yeah. Lobster claws. So now that I'm all done with the activity journal, I'm going to make some potato casserole, so come along with me while I do that. So I'm making a twice baked potato casserole that is higher in protein. So first things first, we need to bake our potatoes. And by bake, I mean cook them in the microwave. So to do that, you'll want to poke holes into the potato using a fork. So all the potatoes in this bag were completely fine, but there was one random one that just had a bunch of these weird, I think they're called eyes on it, and this just grosses me out. So this one will be going in the trash. So once you have a plate full of potatoes, you'll just want to pop those in the microwave. Most microwaves do have a potato setting. Ours actually senses the weight of the potatoes and cooks them thoroughly. So I'll be back once the potatoes are cooked. The potatoes are all finished, so I have a pan here and I'm gonna scoop the inside of the potatoes into the pan. So this is the best method that I've found to scoop them out. It's just kind of using a spoon to scrape around the edges. So I found that it best works whenever the potato is still a little bit warm. You don't want to wait till it completely cools off because then it just makes it a little bit more difficult. But obviously you don't want to do it when it's too hot either because you'll burn your fingers off. So once you have the potatoes all in the pan, you'll want to just mash them up so they're nice and smooth. Next, you'll want to add in some butter. And by some, I mean a lot. Give that a good mix. And then you'll want to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And this is where the high protein comes in. Most of the time people use cream cheese or sour cream, but instead of that, we're just going to use some cottage cheese. So add a couple scoops of that. You could always blend it up if you don't like the texture of the cottage cheese because this will have a little bit of chunks in it, but I don't mind that. And then again, you'll want to give this a good mix. Interrupting this recipe because I made a rookie mistake and forgot to put my bacon in the oven. So we're gonna cook the bacon and then we'll be right back. So the bacon is all cooked and cut up into pieces. So now I'm just going to add that in. I'm also going to add in some shredded cheese. And then I'm just gonna mix it all up. So once it's all mixed up, you'll wanna press it down into the pan and then top it with some more shredded cheese. If you're gonna eat it right away, you'll wanna go ahead and just stick it in the oven and bake it until the cheese is all the way melted on the top. But if you're making this for later, then you'll just wanna stick some aluminum foil on it and put it in the refrigerator until you're ready to bake it. It's not quite time for dinner, so I'm just gonna put ours in the fridge until I'm ready to bake it. What's up, you guys? It's the next day. Both boys are down for a nap, so you know what that means. It's time to grind and get some stuff done. The last couple weeks, I've been working on a toddler activity journal PDF, a Valentine's one, as well as a St. Patrick's one, and I finally got them finished. So my goal for today is to get some of those printed out, get pictures of them, and get them listed on Etsy. I got some of them printed, so let me give you a little preview of what they're looking like. So the first little Valentine's one is heart emotions, and then he will match these up to those. Next up, we have love bug shapes. So I made these little ladybugs that have different shapes on them to match up over here. There are also some basic activities like dot the heart because my toddler loves using the dot markers. This is probably one of my favorite ones. I made little conversation hearts, so I'll cut these out and then he'll sort them into the correct box. And then just quickly going through some of the St. Patty's ones, we have rainbow matching, dot the clover, leprechaun emotions, and adding gold using the dotting markers. So obviously this is just a little preview of some of them. There are actually 17 Valentine's ones and 13 of the St. Patty's ones. So now that I got them printed, I'm gonna take pictures of these and just go ahead and get them listed over on Etsy. So I'm just working on designing some of the Etsy listing photos here. So here is what it's looking like. So I have it all uploaded to Etsy. I am gonna add a video, so I'm gonna record that and then add that in. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit publish on this and then just add the video in later. So it's finally live on Etsy. Now to do the St. Patty's one. The St. Patrick's Day one is live on Etsy now too, so both of these are finished. To wrap up this week's vlog, let's go ahead and do our secret emoji. For this week's emoji, let's do a heart hands emoji. So if you made it this far in the video, comment that emoji down below. That's gonna be it for this week's vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you in the next one.